everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Baking with Becca. In honor of Native American Heritage Month, we'll be making Native American fry bread. It's a traditional bread that stretches back many generations and among many tribes, but specifically with the Navajo Nation where it originated. You'll see different variations in recipes for fry bread depending on the region and tribe that you have, but today we're just going to use a simple Navajo recipe. Let's get started. First things first, we need to gather our ingredients. For this recipe, you'll need 3 cups vegetable oil, or enough for a 1-inch depth in your frying pan, 1 cup all-purpose flour, 1½ teaspoons baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt, and a 1/2 cup of milk. Before we start our dough, we're going to heat up our oil first. You'll need a deep 10-inch pan, and you'll fill it with about 1 inch of oil, and then you're good to go. Just turn it up onto medium heat, and we'll be heating it up to 350 degrees. If you don't have a thermometer at home to know when it reaches 350 degrees, you can always try using the wooden spoon method. You just dip the spoon in, and if there are bubbles all around the surface of the spoon, you'll know your oil is ready to go. While our oil is heating up, we'll prepare our dough. In this mixing bowl here, I have 1 cup of flour, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and we'll just mix that together gently. Then we'll add in a 1/2 cup of milk. I'm going to stir that until it's just combined because we don't want to overwork it, and then we'll turn it out onto a lightly floured surface. Once you have your dough on the work surface, lightly sprinkle the top with flour and knead it for just 5 or 6 turns. We don't want to overwork the dough and make it tough. This means you'll be working with some tackier dough, but I promise it's worth it in the end. After kneading, divide the dough into 4 rough pieces. Do yourself a favor and wash your hands before rolling them out so you don't have messy dough everywhere. All clean! Sprinkle the tops of your dough pieces with just a little bit of flour and roll them out with a floured rolling pin to a 1/4 inch thickness. If you find they're still sticking to the rolling pin, just spread a bit more flour onto the pin. These don't have to be perfect circles to be delicious, so don't worry too much about making them uniform. After rolling them out, make a depression in the center of each round of dough using your thumb. This is so they don't puff up so much while frying, ensuring that the middle is fully cooked. Now we're ready to fry our dough. After checking your oil temp has reached 350 degrees, use a long-handed utensil to carefully slide 1 or 2 pieces of dough into the hot oil. Fry for about 1 to 2 minutes on each side, checking the color halfway through to make sure it still looks good. You want to fry them to a nice golden brown color. Once you flip them, repeat with the second side. After they finish cooking on the other side, put them on a plate with a paper towel to let them cool slightly and drain the excess oil. Then, repeat with the other 2 pieces of dough. So now that our fry bread is all done, you might say, what should I eat this with? Well, fry bread is so good that you can enjoy it all by itself, but if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Native American culture, you can try pairing it with some popular dishes such as succotash, wild rice, Three Sisters stew, pozole. There's plenty of options out there. Today, I'll be having mine with a hearty chicken and wild rice soup. Let's take a look at our bread. Oh yeah, it looks so good. Let's take a bite. There's nothing more comforting than bread and soup, if you ask me. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make Native American fry bread with me today. If you haven't gotten a chance, check out Miss Hannah's Native American Storytime from earlier this month to learn a little bit more about the culture. We'll see you next time!